combine what I do with health coaching and also speak to women about how you can live healthier and actually how you can accomplish your goals. So today's talk, the quiet cost of strength, what capable women overlook. I know many of you probably identify with being a strong female, being capable, so we're going to get into that. This is a little bit more about me. I had my own health issues about 10 years ago, and going to the doctors, I realized I'm not getting the answers that I want, so that caused me to do a little deep digging, which all of you as capable women, I'm sure you would do that too, right? Like if you're not getting the answers you want or you're told your life's not normal, you're going to figure it out because that's what we do. So I went on this journey of getting my health coaching certification, and I made sure I got one that was actually a good one, not one that you just get over the weekend. So I am an integrative health practitioner under Dr. Stephen Cabral and nutrition therapy practitioner. I have a background in nursing. And like I said, we've owned gyms. This is our third gym to own in 27 years. I was thinking on my way here, like how I wanted to open up today, and I thought about when we sold our CrossFit gym in 2016. I had two nevers. Said I would never own a gym again, and I would never work with my husband again. Does anybody else in here work with their spouse? So, you know, it's a good thing, but it's challenging because whenever you have two type A people, you're definitely going to butt heads. But we've learned over the years how to each kind of be in our own lane. So as God does, you know, I got to take a break, paused for a little bit. I went to work for someone else doing marketing for a spine doctor because I'm like, well, I know how to run a business. Let me just kind of see how I could help him. But I was miserable. And I remember saying, okay, God, if you give me back a business, I promise I will be the best boss. You know, because sometimes when you work for people, they don't always have your best interest at heart. So lo and behold, my husband comes home one day and he's like, I think we're supposed to open up another gym. And I was like, what? You're crazy. We're not doing that. But we did. The ball got rolling and we did. And it is called Rise RX Fitness in Tyler, Texas. And the RX stands for Your Prescription for Health. So we do functional medicine through our gym, and that is what we do. But people come there. It's a big, more personal training facility, but we really try to help people go a little bit deeper than the vanity and the six-pack. So this right here, I really want to speak to y'all about this today because this is not a message that I just came up with, or it's something I've lived, so I know what it feels like whenever you're burned out, right? So whenever you're pushing past what you can actually do. Anybody relate to that? How many of you identify as a strong female? All of you? How many of you are the person that someone calls? You're the one that figures it out. If nobody else is going to do it, then get out of the way because I'm going to do it. So what happens when you do that and you push through for years? What happens? Has anybody experienced burnout? Yes. And then you wonder, okay, all the energy I had in my 20s, where'd it go? And people don't understand. When you're used to being the strong one, and you're the one that they call when they need something, and all of a sudden, your capacity is just gone, they don't understand. So you really have to advocate for yourself. So your physiology, your nutrition, how you handle stress, your sleep, all of that affects your capacity. When we started this gym now, I was 48. I'm 53 now. So we started this gym at 48. There's no way you can start a business if you're not taking care of your physiology, right? So we all agree on that. And the analogy I thought of was like the Texas Power Grid 2021. It didn't have the capacity to withstand the demand on it. And then I always say, like, your body's giving you data. So if someone comes into the gym and I start working with them, I do sometimes put them on the in-body scale. They don't always like that, but I'm like, look, it's just data. And then whatever triggers come up, I get to kind of coach them through that. But everything that you are feeling is data. If you slept for 9 hours and you wake up tired, that is data. You should not be tired or exhausted after sleeping for 9 hours. If you're in a meeting and all of a sudden you have brain fog, like, okay, what's happening? I will touch on perimenopause in a sec, but this is a phrase. I won't be too dramatic with it, but this phrase I had myself because I had no other words to give what I felt whenever I was having my crash. I called it the silent scream because you've built a reputation for handling everything, but handling everything has a cost. It's what you just want people to see you. You want people to recognize you, but often they don't. And then whenever we push through, because that's what we do, that's usually what I call borrowed capacity, because you can drink all the Red Bulls, you can have the coffee, you can do whatever you need to do, but it's not lasting capacity. And then perimenopause is something I definitely need to talk about, because if you are between the ages of 35 and 55, this will affect you. I'm sure you've probably had speakers come in maybe and talk about this before, but you will start experiencing perimenopause symptoms up to 10 years before you actually go through menopause. And I believe that's what was happening to me, but no one really kind of had the language for it, but you know something's off. And what happens is all these things, like your mood, brain fog, sleep, anxiety, depression, your capacity drops, right? And this is why we need the hormone HRT. But I like to tell people you can't just go get on HRT or peptides without addressing the foundations. Foundations are so key. So the foundations are what? Sleep, gut health, nutrition, blood sugar balance. And I'm going to give y'all some tips that you could do today that I give all my clients this, and I like to tell people this is like the magic sauce, the magic recipe of how you can feel better. Also, this is really, I touched on this a second ago, but your level of wellness affects your leadership. If you're snapping at your employees, if you're snapping at your husband or your kids, it's not just that they're like pissing you off. It's like, okay, let me take a look at what's going on in here. Did I eat? Is my blood sugar low? What's going on? So I really would love for everyone to like really start putting those together, because it's not just you're having a bad day. Sometimes you are, but it's like, am I hydrated? What's my sleep like? Like, and again, all that's data. And I want to tell you about an accident I had. In December 2024, we were on vacation in Hawaii. And this is after we'd opened up the gym I have now. And pushing through like I always did, even though I knew better. But I remember telling my husband, like, I am just burned out. Like feel like I'm constantly in a state of fight or flight. So we were in Hawaii. I was on an e-bike. Does anybody have an e-bike? Don't ride it. I did not have a helmet on. And I remember thinking, like, we were just having so much fun. We were going back and forth with each other. And we were turning, and my back wheel skid on gravel. And I remember for a minute thinking, oh, I got this. You know, when you're a kid and you're on a 10-speed, you just put your feet down and it stops. And e-bikes are confusing because they've got a motor, but they also have the pedal, so you feel like it's a 10-speed. And anyway, I hit the brakes. It threw me off. I still remember the crack hitting my head, hitting the pavement. And I still thought I was going to be okay, because I'm like, okay, I got this. But I couldn't get up, and it was in the busy street. And he's running back, and he's like, Michelle, get up. It's like, I can't. Like, I could barely even, like, speak. And they called the ambulance. I felt embarrassed, you know, because sometimes, like, when you're used to being the strong one, you don't want people to really see you, like, weak and vulnerable. Rode to the ambulance. They did a CAT scan. They said everything was fine. But I knew something wasn't fine. And when I got back to the States, I got another CAT scan, and it showed I had a fracture in my jaw and then in my temporal bone. So all of 2025, I struggled with post-concussion symptoms. Has anybody ever had a TBI, a concussion? So you know, like it's no joke. And you look fine on the outside, but you're not okay. So again, I'm just going through that whole thing like I'm not okay. So what the accident really taught me was I don't have to have it all together. And it made me realize the reason why I'm here today is because it's like I have dreams that I still want to accomplish. And okay, I'm going to do them. I'm not going to put that off any longer. So it just really woke me up to, okay, you want to speak? Then let's go speak after you get better. Oh, my computer went off. And then, anybody take pictures of themselves when they're crying? It's not just your 16, 19-year-old daughters. I think I found that picture. I took it because I just wanted my family to see how pitiful I was. Because I'm like, look, I am not okay. I need attention. I am not okay. Quit asking me to do stuff for you. But it really was my wake-up call to stop waiting on permission. How many of you wait on permission or have in your life? Because you want someone to recognize you, you want someone to say, oh, you did so good today, you're like, you should go do that, or you should go do this. No one's coming to tell you to do that. No one's coming to rescue you. So 3 permissions. This is a big one, especially for all of us type A, is rest. How many of you rest? How many of you take time to rest? Do you? Yeah, because it's like sometimes you're like, I know I need to rest, but I don't want to. And I remember even all of last year, I was like, I don't want to rest. I felt like rest was like a dirty word, but I had to. Permission 2, your health is not separate from the work you do. It has to be all together. And permission 3, asking for support is not a sign of falling apart. Do y'all feel like y'all gotten better over the years of like rest, nutrition, sleep, right? Do you know people in your life that don't quite have that down? So you are an example to them of what health looks like, what thriving looks like. And real strength includes the wisdom to restore your body, like rest. I threw this in here because I really felt, as I was preparing, I really felt like this was a message for somebody. Like it just, when things just don't leave you and you're like, okay, I'm gonna throw this in here, God, because maybe you're talking to somebody. Anybody know Hannah in the Bible? Like whenever she cried out for a baby, right? And she was made fun of by her other husband's wife. Just, right? She made fun of her because she couldn't have a baby. So every year she'd go to the temple and she'd cry out for a baby. God used the desire in her heart to birth his will in the earth, right? So if some of you have desires that you haven't acted on, like that's God that put that desire in you. My desire to speak is not for me. It's whatever God wants to do with it. But whatever you have in your heart, like whatever desires you have, like God put those there. They're not for you, but he's going to use you. And I really felt strongly to say that today. And here's the magic. If you want to feel better, I tell all my clients this. And if they don't do it, they get in trouble. No, I'm joking. All right, blood sugar. That is the best thing that you could do, is stabilize your blood sugar. You want to eat every 3.5 to 4 hours. Anybody do that? Now, if you're fasting or doing keto, like this, that's a whole different ballgame. But someone just starting out baseline, you want to feel better. You want to eat every 3.5 to 4 hours. If you're not hungry, that tells me something about your digestion. If you are not hungry, you're not breaking down your food, or you got something going on that we need to work on with your gut health. This right here, protein, fiber, fat at every meal, that will change everything. Eat to 80% full, save room for air. Don't stuff yourself just because it's on your plate. And then drink half your body weight in ounces of water. Did y'all already know all this?
Well,
Do you do it?
yeah, doing it another time.
I mean, it's just, and you do it, and then all of a sudden you're like, I feel better, or all of a sudden, I slept through the night. Like, it's this, you're stabilizing your blood sugar. If you get up and go to the bathroom several times a night, your blood sugar's off.
Okay.
I might be nervous talking, but I know this. I know this stuff. And I want you to stop mistaking depletion for dedication. It doesn't take more discipline for you to feel better. Like, you see people, they can get up and they can go run at 13 miles at 4 a.m. and then go work, but you don't know what's happening in her home. You don't know how she's treating her kids or her husband, and she might look like she's got it all together, but I promise you she doesn't. So don't mistake like discipline for depletion for dedication. And I think that's it.
Now that she called all of us out, all the things we know we should be doing, does anybody have any questions? Or
I have a comment.
yes,
I love it so much, and the reason is because I'm studying functional medicine myself. So just a quick story: I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer during COVID. Luckily, my cancer was curable still, one of the few that even at this stage is curable, but I had only like a few percentage of survival rate. So what we did, we hired a functional medicine doctor. She walked me through the treatment. I had a very heavy chemotherapy, radiation, many surgeries, but I'm here 6 years cancer-free.
wow.
And almost 2. And in the best shape of my life, mentally and physically. And that includes, I was a people pleaser. I cut a lot of people out of my life because I value myself.
Yeah.
So thank you.
That's awesome. Wow, what a story.
September.
I have a question. So what would you say, like just for all our friends that are our age and stage, if we want to be encouragers as well as for ourselves, what would be step 1?
Encouragers, meaning people
What
in.
would we say? Like step 1 would be drink this many ounces of water a
We
day.
can't do that.
Right.
I think that-
Where's the beginning?
I think the best thing is to lead by example, and you can say things like, oh my gosh, you're not going to believe how good I feel. Like when I get my kids at 3 o'clock, I'm not tired anymore. That's probably the biggest change that people have, is they're not so fatigued. And when I work with people, I either do an 8-week or a 6-month program with them, and almost 2 weeks in, they all say, oh my gosh, I'm not taking a nap in the afternoon. I had one girl last week, she said her husband was out of town and she was talking to him around 8 p.m. He's like, honey, did you drink a Red Bull? Because you're going to have so much energy. She's like, no. But it was all the things. Yeah, so I think like when you feel better, it more or less, it can come off like, oh my gosh, I feel so good. Let me tell you about blah, blah, blah. Because no one wants to be told what to do. Yes.
I'd like to hear your thoughts on technology and what your role is about putting it away or accessing it, all of that.
Well, from my head injury, my neck also got affected, so I need to watch out for being on my phone all the time. But yeah, like technology, I mean, I think that definitely can bother your neck. I don't know how many of y'all actually have neck problems, but it can definitely bother your neck, your eyesight. I think we need to get more social with our family members. I think we need to spend time and quality time. I think our nervous system needs that. We don't need to like just look at strangers all day. But I notice that in my own family, and we try to be intentional, not all the time, but like just be intentional with just being present with each other, because we're not guaranteed tomorrow, you know.
Just a comment. I used to be a regional manager, and I would have 50 employees under my belt at all times, and I made it very clear that I have my own time, my own space, and there's settings on the iPhone where you can put home settings and what notifications that are allowed to come through during that. And then also there's a car mode where it will send automatic message, and so I had a business line for all my employees to reach out to me, and it says, if this is not an emergency, please email me or let me know tomorrow when I'm back online. Because I was managing for over 12 years. In the very beginning, I was very much a people pleaser. I'll go pick you up on the side of the road, and I'll go do everything for you to get to work or help you or whatever. But then I realized I was depleting myself, and I didn't have any energy for my family. So I had to separate that in a way. So I think that's a way to help with technology, just to have those settings preset, and that way you don't get those Facebook notifications or whatnot, and that way you can focus on your work or focus on your family when needed. And in it's funny because I still drive by the now and it still says work mode. I'm like, oh, change that.
Boundaries. Yes.
I just had a quick question. Do you mind touching on, I think you briefly say something about making sure the right labs are done for hormones. Can you
Yes.
touch on why that's important?
Yes, I feel like labs are very important, and you want to take those labs and compare them to functional medicine optimal ranges
Right.
versus what you get in a traditional physician's office. But you need to be getting, I mean, especially if you're over the age of 35 and you feel like you might be having perimenopause symptoms, you need to get your estrogen levels checked, progesterone, testosterone. Your traditional doctor's office is not going to check all these. They're going to leave something out, I promise you. DHEA. I would, even if you're struggling with stress, I'd even look at your cortisol levels, your vitamin D3 levels, folate, ferritin. If you see a functional medicine doctor, they're going to know what. I wouldn't even waste your time going to your family doctor, even if they file on your insurance, because you're not going to get what you need. Does that help? Yeah. I see it all the time. I'll give clients a list because they want to go to their doctor's office, and lo and behold, they come back with 2 markers checked. And I try not to be mad about it, but I'm like, anyway. Thank you guys.
Thank you for giving us permission to take care of ourselves and put ourselves first. When we were talking on the phone, we were talking about, like she said, she would feel guilty for rest, or, we have to give ourselves permission to take care of ourselves, because how do we take care of anybody else if we don't take care of ourselves first, right?
If you're not hungry,